Hi, AnnaMarie. Thanks for coming to Providence, taking the time to visit with us.
Thanks for
I have a
having
few
me.
questions for you if you have a moment.
Absolutely.
If you had an extra $10 million in the city budget at this moment, what would the best way to spend that money?
Well, Bill, I'm going to need more than 10 million. Can you give me 100 million? I think we can do a lot with that. I think that our priorities are what we really need to focus on. And those include public safety and making sure that we're able to expand our public safety resources as our community grows. We need to make sure that we remain a safe city, and we have to prioritize public safety to do that. I think it's also important to prioritize transportation and making sure that we have the roads and infrastructure that we need as we grow, and hopefully getting those roads and infrastructure before the growth so that we don't have to have immense traffic as that happens. And then finally, employment opportunities. We need to find ways to get jobs here in Maricopa so that people don't have to travel out of town to work, and so that we can retain our tax dollars here in Maricopa.
Well, that leads me to my next question. If there was a project coming forward that may not be appropriate at this time, what would that be?
Bill, for me, that would be Iconic Park. And that is the new park that is proposed behind City Hall. And based off the latest numbers I got in the capital improvement project plan, which is a draft, that is going to cost us $95 million over the next 5 years. And for me, we just don't have $95 million over the next 5 years for more lakes and grass. We have a lot of lakes and grass here in Maricopa. They're beautiful. There's some right here behind us. And I think that we need to prioritize that $95 million for public safety, for transportation, for employment, and for the things that our community wants.
Then my final question would be, what's the difference between, or how do we distinguish between what we need and what we want?
Determining what you need versus what you want, I think, is the age old question, right? And for me, I think you do it like you do your own household. You really have to look at what is going to make the biggest impact over the next 5 to 10 years. And you have to prioritize those. And those are your needs. And then when you have extra money left over after that, you can look at the wants. But for me, some of the needs include making sure that we have services for our youth and services for our seniors and our veterans.
Thank you, AnnaMarie. Thank you for taking the time to come to Providence.
Thank you, Bill.